Coming up on the Ensemble PSG Podcast, we're talking all about PSG's upcoming match against Lionel Messi and Inter Miami. But first, a big thank you to everyone out there who has subscribed to Ensemble PSG on Substack. We could not do this without you, so we really appreciate your support. And as you know, this is an exciting time to be a PSG supporter, so if you're listening to this episode and you're not a subscriber, I hope you consider signing up. We've got some great content for you to check out from football journalists and PSG supporters. We have a new piece coming out from Zach Lowy previewing PSG versus Inter Miami, and subscribers, you also get access to our Discord server. To get started, it's easy. Just visit psgtalk.substack.com. All right, let's get back to the show. Joining me today is Daniel and Kris from Battered Herons. You can watch all of their great Inter Miami content on YouTube by subscribing to their channel, Battered Herons. Speaking of which, Ethan from PSG Fan Club Boise and I, we joined their show to give our thoughts on PSG heading into the match. So make sure you watch their episode that is out now on their YouTube channel. On this episode though, Daniel, Kris, Ethan, and myself, we all talk about the Messi effect in Miami, whether Inter Miami has to win MLS Cup this year, maybe some non-star players to look for as a PSG fan for Inter Miami, and we also get their prediction for the match. It's a great conversation. We had a lot of fun. They provided a lot of great insight, and you'll hear all of it right after the intro. All right, welcome to the show, Daniel and Kris. We just went live for you guys' show, Battered Herons. Tell my listeners where they can find that show if they want to listen, and also tell me a little bit about Battered Herons.
Battered Herons, we come on 4 to 5 times a week, usually at 9 o'clock Eastern time, talk all things Inter Miami. We also do Las Garzas, which is Battered Herons in Spanish, on Monday nights. Yeah, we talk. It's just us. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We're not beat reporters. We're fans. We're season ticket holders, and we just have a lot of fun. We think we're insightful, but we also have a lot of fun in between. So it's a good time if you want to hear a little Inter Miami talk, or if you're just a Messi fan.
Yeah, we also have a shop, batteredfans.com, and we do a lot of other shows, basketball, football, all kinds of other content as well. So.
Yeah, and we'll probably have a lot of fans crossover. We've got some people who came to PSG because of Messi, and of course you guys have Messi now, so I think there's a lot of crossover here. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, if they want to hear more Messi talk here in the MLS, absolutely, Battered Herons, absolutely the place to go, because we are lucky enough to be the most popular Inter Miami show. So
I love to hear that. And we just, like I said, we just did your show, and you guys are a lot of fun. You've got lots of fun graphics. Your intro we talked about is amazing. So you're kind of setting the bar for us. We got to up our game here. So Daniel, Kris, let's get into this much anticipated match this Sunday, PSG versus Inter Miami, round of 16 FIFA Club World Cup. The match kicks off in Atlanta, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's a great stadium they have there. Guys, we'll start with you, Daniel, and then Kris, over to you. I'm just curious, when Inter Miami, they drew 2-2 to Palmeiras. It was a great match, by the way, one of the best of the tournament. What went through your mind knowing that Inter Miami qualified, but then they would take on PSG in the next round?
You might think I'm crazy, but this is what I wanted. Since before the tournament started, I said I wanted to somehow end up playing against PSG. Not because I think Inter Miami can or should beat them, but because if we're going to get eliminated, let's go up against the best. Because as of right now, PSG, Champions League winners, they are the best club in the world. So let's see. Let's go up against the best. And if we lose, we bowed out against the best. So, and then I love the storyline of the whole Messi thing. So although some people thought I was crazy, and I had a lot of people in our live chat that are calling me out and saying that they can't wait till the post game so they can laugh at me. And I'm sure you saw some of those comments in our chat as we were doing the show that too bad, guys. I'm not going to be available for this week's post game. But yeah, they're waiting for me to eat my words. But look, I never said I wanted it because I thought we would win. I just wanted because, hey, you're the best. Let's see how we look against the best.
And one thing that Danny typically mentions about sports is that it's very sort of fantastical in terms of how things work out, like destiny. So it's just funny to see that we're going to be playing PSG, which was Messi's last team. It's just something that you you hope to arrive to just because it sounds so fantastical. But I think from a matchup perspective, especially considering that we weren't expected to do so great in this tournament, it's like we mentioned in the last show that we just did, it's a win-win for us in reality. If we win, we beat the best team. If we lose, well, we played the best team and we lost against the best team and did well, got out of the group.
People thought I was crazy. They didn't think Inter Miami would get out because I said, hey, everyone, if PSG topped the group and Inter Miami finished second, we're going to have a matchup with Messi. And people were like, they're not even going to get out of the group. So I think you're right. Just getting out of that group is an accomplishment enough. I want to ask you about the prize money. I think there's something like 13 million on the line if you reach the quarterfinal. We know the disparity between PSG and MLS teams in terms of money. So how big of a motivator is that going to be for Inter Miami to try to knock off PSG number one and then also collect that big paycheck?
Well, it's weird, Danny, because I don't know, maybe you can answer this better than I can. The money, it's not necessarily going to be used in a salary cap capacity, right?
No, and I don't know if you guys saw the Seattle Sounders, MLS team. They were protesting almost, right? The silent protest wearing those shirts that said money grab because the players in the MLS aren't going to get a lot of that money. So the teams and the league itself, since it's a single entity, are pocketing most of it. So I don't think the players are going out there thinking about the winnings.
Interesting.
And then also, like you were saying, we have a salary cap. We already have our 3 DPs being used at the moment. So it's not much we can do with it at the moment. So the players in itself, I don't think that they're thinking that. I think they're thinking more pride. I think that they realize that they are shutting a lot of people up because a lot of people chose them to end up fourth in that group. And I think that they're also upset that they weren't able to finish the job against Palmeiras because for the first 80 minutes, they were the better side. And nobody's given them a chance this game. Maybe with good reason, but if you're a competitor, you want to be respected. And I think that especially Messi's going to come out with a chip on his shoulder. So, yeah, I don't think they have the money in mind at all.
Yeah, I think there's several players in that Inter Miami squad who will not be afraid of PSG whatsoever. Ethan, who's a PSG Talk contributor, let me toss it over to you. We can get into the kind of nuts and bolts of this game. Ethan, do you want to ask the guys a question here?
Yeah, it's not necessarily about the game, and we briefly touched on this before we started the recording here. But I wanted to know how both of you guys became Inter Miami fans.
Okay. Well, I'll start. I've been a lifelong football fan.
Yeah.
I've been a lifelong football fan. I'm Colombian, so obviously I grew up watching the sport with my father, playing a little bit. But I didn't get into the MLS until 2014. At that point, decided to pay attention to the domestic league, but I had no team. I live in Miami now. And in 2015, I found out Orlando and NYCFC were going to have teams. So I figured I'd pick one of those two. I picked NYCFC because I'm originally from New York. But when I found out Miami would have a new team and I was living in Miami, why not support the local team? It's basically now it's an hour drive because it's in Broward, but it's going to be a 20-minute drive. So I switched over 2019, got season tickets, and the rest is history for me. It's my team. And Chris, I think that my story leads into yours.
Yeah, my story is I hated soccer. I didn't like the sport. It was like the 8th favorite sport for me. I like badminton even better than soccer. But Danny invited me over to a game, said, hey, give it a shot. And I went. I had nothing else better to do. Watched the game. Luckily, there were a lot of goals. It was a 5-1 win for Inter Miami, and I fell in love with the ambiance. I fell in love with everything that was swirling around it. And I said, you know what, let me get a pair of tickets for the next game. I went. Awesome experience again. And then I said, you know what? This is good stuff. This is fun. I bought season tickets that same moment. And now I talk about soccer.
Yeah, we were having a conversation not too long ago. Yeah. I was like, Chris, if I would have told you 5 years ago, not only that you are doing a podcast, but you're doing a soccer podcast. And then on top of doing a soccer podcast almost every day, you also do it in Spanish once a week, which yes. Chris isn't necessarily the most fluent Spanish speaker. So Chris has broken barriers that he would have never imagined, I would assume.
I like to compare myself to the fan that the MLS is looking to attract. A person who doesn't follow soccer, who follows the bigger sports in the United States, and decides to jump over and have an adoration for a team locally within their area.
No, that's fascinating. And I would say just be careful. I started this 10 years ago, and then I'm still doing it. So it's addictive. And once you get into it, you look forward to the seasons and you just keep, recording those episodes. So That's amazing. Thank you guys for sharing that. I want to get into this game a little bit, but first there's some dark clouds swirling around this game. There's a little bit of animosity, probably more on the PSG side. Don't know how much you followed Messi's time when he was at PSG, but there was this whole situation. He skipped a training session to go do some promotional stuff over in Saudi Arabia, and then PSG made him film this like really sketchy apology video. They kind of, sidelined him and all that.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, and now, every comment since, he's really thrown PSG under the bus and just talked about how miserable he was there, essentially. So just wondering, what is your take on all of that? And let's also not forget, there's a lot of players on Inter Miami that were on the pitch in 2017 when Barcelona beat PSG 6-1 in probably one of the most famous football matches of the past decade. So with all of that stirring around this game, what are your thoughts on everything leading into this game off the pitch?
The storyline is the reason I wanted this game, right? Well, on top of playing against the best, I thought the storyline was going to be a great talking point, right? Because we talk about the team. I thought it would be very interesting. I don't think that Messi has said absolutely anything this week to, or even in the last couple of weeks, to make it seem like he is looking forward to this game, like anything else other than just a regular game. But I don't think that's Messi's style. But we've seen the way Messi is. He'll hold a grudge. Like when Colombia played against Argentina in the World Cup qualifiers not too long ago, James, a couple months ago, said a comment where he felt like the refs kind of favored Argentina in the Copa America final last year. And Messi held on to that. He heard it. He held on to it. And he waited for the moment where he had an opportunity to walk up to James and reprimand him. And he almost made poor James cry. He almost made him cry on the pitch. So Messi is that guy. When they played against Mexico in the friendly earlier this year, he went to the fans and he started throwing up the 3, me, you, 0 for the World Cups that they've won. So Messi, although he is quiet and he won't say it out loud, he holds grudges. So I am 100% sure he's going to have a chip on his shoulder going into this game.
Terrifies me.
The rest of the players, I think that they respect PSG. We had one of our better defenders, Noah Allen, come out, and he implied that he understands that Botafogo would have been the better draw. So I think that everybody's going in there with a lot of respect. Messi with the chip on his shoulder. But I am with you, Ed. Suarez, Alba, Busquets, and Messi all remember being a part of that game. And I don't think that they look at PSG as invincible. I think that they feel like it's something that they can conquer, especially with the way that they performed so far in this tournament.
If Messi holds up a 6-1, I'm driving to Atlanta. If he scores a free kick and he's like 6-1, I'm just going to lose it. I'm going to lose my mind. Chris, what do you think? You like the storylines heading into this one?
I mean, I love the drama. Like, that is what I die for in sports. And I think the simple fact that you have those 4 guys that remember, they're going to kick it into a different gear this game. So if you thought that they were coasting at some point, like, this game might be the one that wakes them up out of bed a little bit earlier than normal.
Ethan, I was just going to ask Ethan, I mean, kind of speak for all PSG fans. I know that's easy to do, right? I mean, you're on social media. There may not be a whole lot of animosity on the Inter Miami side, but you're kind of seeing it like I am, right? There, a lot of PSG fans are out for revenge, or they want to kind of crush Inter Miami based off of all the stuff that Messi's been saying since leaving.
Yeah, some PSG fans want us to take this as an actual revenge game, as if the two teams are on
equals
level. As if they're equals. So that's a bit weird. I mean, I can't say that I love Messi from his time at PSG. I also would say, I mean, it's a mixed bag from his time at PSG because there was the issue that him skipping training, and of course, I think more of it was that he wanted to be at Barcelona more, and also Christophe Galtier was not the right man to try and manage Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. He, loved playing into those superstars instead of actually managing the football club like he was hired to do. And so it's weird. Yeah, I don't dislike Messi. I mean, I do think he's the greatest ever. But I would say I did like him more before he was at PSG, and I dislike him a bit more now that he's been gone. But I certainly don't have any animosity. But it's it's just it is a weird situation because blame is always put on players. For example, I know that our thing with Mbappe right now is really weird, given that he just sued the club today. But I feel like people put too much emphasis on players as if this is like tennis. Oh, that's funny.
It's your boy right there.
A little like bobblehead or something. But yeah, people put way too much of this on players, I think. And I think that it's obviously managers and sporting directors and presidents, they have more control over these situations, honestly, than most players do. So I try to not hold things against players too much. But yeah, a lot of PSG fans definitely do hold it against them. So
yeah, I'm curious.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah, go for it.
I know that you guys say that the PSG fans are looking at this as a revenge game, which I guess to an extent I understand, even though obviously the playing fields are not even. What result would they not be happy with? Like if you guys win 1-0, do you think they'll be like, we got revenge on Messi? Or like, does it have to be a convincing win? It's
got to be 6-7. If PSG doesn't treat you guys like Auckland, like Bayern Auckland, I think they'll be disappointed.
Okay. Yeah. So if it ends like 2-0, 2-1, something like that, PSG fans won't be like, we got our revenge?
No. Okay. There needs to be, some... And I'll put myself in that group. I definitely want to see, because we mentioned on your show, you left, and no one likes to hear a player say negative things about your club, and especially when I feel like the club went out of its way, because PSG were really the only team that could sign Messi for the wages that he wanted, and then he kind of used the club as a training facility for the World Cup, which he ultimately won. And so I felt like it was, okay, we're going to use you for marketing. You're using us to stay fit for the World Cup. Okay, we're all good, part ways. And then he's just kind of been slamming PSG since. So, I wouldn't mind a big win. But as we talked about, we'll get to predictions at the end. I think it's going to be pretty close. But let's talk about Inter Miami a little bit more, because Messi's there. You've got a really star-studded squad, but you haven't won that MLS Cup. You've won the Supporter Shield, and for those who don't know, that's the award that you get for having the best record in the regular season. It's very American, I know. But you haven't won MLS Cup. Is that going to happen this season? Is it kind of MLS Cup or bust this season?
Well, I think if you would have asked us this question before the FIFA Club World Cup, we would have said, I don't know. We were on shaky ground. We were losing a lot of games that we felt like we shouldn't have been losing and playing poorly. Now, with the way that we've been playing throughout this tournament, I imagine, and Danny probably agrees, we've been playing a lot better. We've taken some losses with some key players that have contributed very well, especially a player that contributed extremely well at the end last year, Yannick Bright, which was one of our downfalls when we played against Atlanta and lost. But other than that, I feel like we're hitting the right stride at this moment.
It's definitely MLS or bust, MLS Cup or bust. But the worry is we did have a little bit of a rough patch before the start of the Club World Cup. But I don't know if we're out of it. And that's a conversation that we're going to have after this tournament's over, because I feel like the open play that we face playing against teams like Palmeiras or Porto that don't sit back with the low block has given us the freedom to counter, given us space to play in, for Messi to have space. And when we get back to playing MLS, everybody holds the low block. They have a man marking Messi at all times, one or two, and they give him no free space, nowhere to roam, and players weren't running into open spaces to help him, moving defenders with their runs. So it's going to be interesting once we get back to MLS play, but yes, in the fans' minds, it is MLS Cup or bust, because with this roster, even if you're underperforming, we still have the best roster in the league.
Yeah.
So they have to win it. It's like saying PSG not winning the title. You guys have by far and away the best roster. So that's us also. We have the best roster. We have to win the MLS Cup.
Yeah, you're right. If we don't win Ligue 1, yeah, there's certainly a problem. Managers get fired. It's a whole thing. We've talked a lot about him, Messi. We know Suarez, Busquets. You got some big names there. But what are some other players that PSG fans should be looking at that could impress on Sunday? Some guys that maybe don't have that star power.
Do you want to start, Kris? Oh, Kris is on mute, so I guess I'll start. All right,
Kris.
So we
sorry,
have.
I didn't. I was trying to fix my microphone. I'm sorry.
You're good. Go for it.
I'll go ahead and I'll start. I'll start with a defender. I'll start with a young guy by the name of Noah Allen. He comes from our academy. He's been with the team for a long time, and he's been playing sort of at the under the wing of Jordi Alba. He started as a left back with us years ago, and he's kind of been naturally moved to the left center back. And he has played every single game so far this year, contributing at a level that not many people sort of expected. He's surpassed a lot of people's expectations. He defends well. He pushes the ball up well. He's a player that I think is a player that for sure you should watch out for.
Yeah, so yes, that's what I was going to start off with. Noah Allen, he's an undersized center back, but he has stood out. He's probably been our best defender all year. And then the two young guns that we have on the left and right sides are Tadeo Allende and Telasco Segovia, both brand new to the team. Telasco Segovia, I want to say he's 21. Tadeo Allende, I want to say he's 20. I could be off by a year on those, but Telasco Segovia is the ball handler. He's the creator. He's the one that kind of connects with Messi and Suarez on that left side. He likes to move in centrally. He'll create running room for Messi. He'll catch Suarez with the through ball. So he's dangerous to play making. And Tadeo Allende on the right side, he's our only vertical threat. So if we're playing the counter, which is what we've been doing, he is going to be the one that's going to make those line-breaking runs, and Suarez or Messi will catch him on a long ball. And he's going to be the one that you have to... He's literally on a counter. The only player that you have to worry about is Tadeo Allende. He's the one that scored against Palmeiras, was it? That first goal. He almost had a second one-on-one opportunity with the goalie. So Tadeo Allende is the vertical threat, and Telasco Segovia is probably the best young Venezuelan player. And he is somebody that might stand out to you when you're watching the game. You'll be like, who is that keeps linking up with Messi and Suarez? It's Telasco Segovia. He is good when he's moving centrally.
That's really good insight. Thank you for that. And Ethan, you want to jump in there? And do you have another question you want to ask?
Ooh, I guess I would ask right now. How do you guys? How do you guys think you're going to line up? And in possession and out of possession, and how often are you guys going to be playing in transition and trying to hit us with counterattacks?
Well, it's a funny thing that you asked that, because one of our co-hosts on the Spanish program was actually sort of, poking around thinking that we'd maybe start with 5 in the back. We don't think that's going to be an advantage. I think we're going to come out with 4 in the back. We're going to come out with 3 in the middle and then 3 up top. But that's got to rotate, because just like what Danny mentioned, Telasco Segovia is a player that plays better when he's playing centrally with Messi. So I feel like that's where we're going to be playing. I mean, what do you think, Danny?
It's been hard to tell, just because we aren't a low block counter-attacking team. We started doing that for this tournament. We generally hold possession. We play a 4-4-2. We hold possession. We push up high with our fullbacks. And we play a very high line, and that's why we get caught on the counter very often. In this tournament, we've been laying back a lot more. When we're in possession, we have 2 up top. It's 4-4-2, but Messi kind of drops back. It ends up being Allende and Suarez up top. Messi taking on more of the role of 10 when we're in possession. And you see more of a single pivot with Sergio Busquets, and then Redondo, which is our other pivot, and Telasco Segovia kind of playing centrally, letting the fullbacks push up. But again, that's something we expect to see again this game, because I can't see why they wouldn't. It's been working so far, but it isn't something that we've seen all year. That's why I think we've been surprised at how well it's worked, and we're even wondering if we're going to try to do it when we get back to the regular MLS play, because, like I said, it has been something that we've tried all year. It's working now. How well it's going to work against a team like PSG, I don't know, but that's what you can expect to see. You can expect to see a very low block, playing the counter with literally just one vertical threat, and And when we do hold, like we do with Palmeiras, you can't score on us if you don't have the ball. So we won't rush it. We're not just going to just get the ball and clear it. No, we're going to play out of the back, and we'll hold the ball into safe spaces and play that tiki-taka if we can't find that long pass to Allende. But that's what you can expect to see from Inter Miami on Sunday.
We'll get your guys' prediction and get you out of here, but I have to ask you, because it's something we've experienced at PSG Talk. It's something we've experienced as PSG fans, is the Messi effect, Messi mania. What have you guys seen in terms of the jersey sales and just seeing the jerseys around South Florida and Miami, the city, and also, like, are you social media followers? Just talk about, is there a buzz in the city there? Just talk about everything he's brought to the city.
So let me start real quickly. Before Messi got here, if you wanted to get autographs from players, you could have just stood outside of the parking lot and waited for players to walk from the stadium to, I guess, what is that building?
The training facility. Because it's in the same place. It's separated by the parking lot in which we used to tailgate.
And so you'd be able to just get everybody's autograph. Messi comes here, forget about it. They take a literal bus from one end of the parking lot to the other to enter the stadium now.
Mm-hmm.
So that just alone, that is just a magnificent change.
It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah. We went from a very intimate club where you could literally say hi to the players as they walk from the training facility to the stadium before the game, where now you don't see the players anymore. They literally do take that bus and they enter the stadium in a bus, which is a minute drive, which is interesting. But seeing the Inter Miami kit around the globe now is very cool, because we are a very, very young club. This is our 5th full season. We don't really, I mean, you can say 6th if you count that first pandemic season where it was shortened. But this is our 5th full season, and to see our kit all over the place, it's surreal, honestly. And I think the marketing, making it pink, making it stand out, I think was a smart move, especially now. You see pink kit, you know where more likely it's Inter Miami. Right, and then the jersey sales have been ridiculous. In the MLS, to get a third kit, because I know at least in Europe, you all get third kits, alternate kits. In MLS, you have to sell 100,000 kits to qualify for a third kit the following season. We've obviously gotten a third kit last year, which was a retro collection. Remember, Inter Miami's been in existence 5 years. For some reason, we were put into the retro collection.
Is that the Miami Vice one?
Yes.
Yeah, they just randomly gave us a Dolphins colored one. And then this year, they gave us a third kit. And it's not like in Europe where you guys get 3 new kits every year. We get a home new kit, and then the next year, an away new kit. Mm-hmm. And it also needs this year we got just 3 new kits. They gave us a new home, a new away. Here's a third kit. Like they're milking it because it sells. You literally, if you look at MLS All Stars, which yes, MLS has All Star games. I know it's silly, but if you look at last year, he didn't even go participate. He didn't even go to Columbus for the All Star game. Yeah. But they were selling Messi All Star jerseys, and they all sold out. Put Messi's name, put Messi's face on anything, and it's gonna sell. So
people
it's
don't
ridiculous.
Understand. Don't talk to me about Patrick Mahomes and some of the American sports fans.
No.
In America, he is the most popular athlete right now in an American league right now.
Yes,
there's no question.
And in the world, it's insane the following that Messi has. And I've said it. You guys got to witness it. I know maybe it was a little sour for you guys for those 2 years, but. Look, I'm a Jets fan. I don't get to root for greatness. So getting to watch the greatest of all time play for my squad, man, I'm enjoying the hell out of it. It's absolutely amazing.
And the third kit is beautiful. If you guys get a chance to look at, I'm looking at pictures now. The new one is amazing. All right, guys, prediction time. We talked about it on your show, so it should be easy. You've got the numbers in your head. Let's start with you, Kris. What is your prediction?
So so we'll start off with me. I'll just blow it out of the water. Outlandishly, I feel like we're going to win 3-2. It's not going to go into extra time, penalties, whatever the case is. It's going to be a 3-2 win for Inter Miami.
Look, if you can't be confident of your own team, what are you doing here? I love that. I love it. Yes. Daniel, you're up.
I can't be confident. I try my best to be the realist on the show. So if you're watching the show, just know that you're going to have a lot more fun with Kris, because I try to keep us grounded. I do think that Miami has a fighter's chance, right? A puncher's chance. I do think that a red card, a counter where we just randomly score early, like we did against Palmeiras, and then you just buckle down and defend with 30. Like, things can happen any given Sunday, as they say here in the United States. Like, anything can happen. But with that said, I can't go ahead and bet on it. I can't say that I expect it to happen. I expect PSG to win. I expect Messi, with the chip on his shoulder, to figure out how to get into the net at least once, maybe off a free kick. I'm expecting a 3-1 win. I know that a lot of PSG fans are expecting an ass kicking. They want an ass kicking. We're going to defend for our lives. We've been doing it all tournament long, and it's worked pretty well. So I don't expect PSG to put up 5 like they did against Inter Milan. I do think it's a 3-1 win for PSG.
I've got this one. Oh, go ahead, Kris.
Is it too much to ask that we don't get our ass kicked if you guys only beat Seattle 2-0?
Well, 3-1 isn't getting our ass kicked, I think.
Well, but I mean,
Atletico lost 4-0, so
yeah, that makes sense.
Ethan, what is your prediction for this one?
Yeah, mine is it's same as Danny. It's going to be 3-1 for us. I think they will score off of some maybe free kick, corner, or just a cross. Ball in the air. They could get a goal on us, and I think they will, because until pretty recently we weren't super amazing at keeping clean sheets. So
yeah,
I think it'll be 3-1. Which is weird because, Ed, I know what your prediction is coming here. And it's weird that you and I are on different sides. You're normally the one giving the much bigger scoreline win to PSG, and I'm normally the one that's toning it back. But let's hear yours now.
Yeah. As I said on your guys' show, I think this one's going to be tight. I think Messi scores. I think you're going to score on set pieces. The dark arts are going to come out. You're going to win free kicks. And I think this one goes into extra time and then ultimately penalties. I'm going to say PSG get through because I think we have the best goalkeeper when it comes to penalties in Donnarumma. So I'll say we squeak by, but I think this one's going to be really, really close. I think Messi's going to have that motivation. I think PSG are just absolutely tired. We talked about the Jimmy Butler meme with Hakimi just doubled over, just exhausted. We've run that guy into the ground. So I think this one's going to be pretty close, but I'll give PSG the slight win. We're not going to get the 10-0 that many PSG fans are hoping for.
I will give you if I do think that if we manage to somehow get into extra time, Messi will figure out how to win before penalty kicks. I don't think we win in penalty kicks. I don't think
it's crazy.
If we make it that far and you give Messi some hope, give him 30 minutes, I think he'll figure out how to get one in there.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see. The game's on Sunday. Should be a lot of fun. Guys, remind everyone where they can listen to the show that we recorded and all about what you guys do over at Battered Herons.
So Battered Herons is live. So the show that we recorded is already out there and available. So you just go on Battered Herons on YouTube or on any audio listening platform, and you'll just look it up. It'll be the latest episode. If you look, actually, it probably won't because we're doing one tomorrow morning. But just look for "Can Miami Shock the World?" is the title of the PSG Talk episode. It's the PSG preview. And like I said, if you want to hear Messi or Inter Miami talk, we come on 4 to 5 times a week at 9 o'clock at night. If you speak Spanish and you want some Messi talk in Spanish, Mondays at 10 o'clock at night. We also do MLS talk. We do Battered MLS fans once a week. If you want to get into the league, we have a good time talking about that. We do a little bit of everything. And if you like other sports, we cover other sports also. We're talking heads. If you haven't noticed, we just like to talk a lot.
Amazing. Well, good luck on Sunday. Good luck the rest of the season. We'll certainly be watching. Really appreciate you guys reaching out and setting this up. It was a joy to talk to you guys.
Yes, and shout out to Blake, because Blake, I believe, is one of your listeners. He's the one that reached out to us because he listens to both of us. And he said, and we were talking, we're like, hey, man, we need to find the PSG guest. And he's like, hey, hit up PSG Talk. So shout out to Blake. Yeah.
Thank you.
So shout out to Blake. Yeah.
Amazing. So all right. Well, good luck on Sunday, and we'll talk soon. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Have a good one.